Hey, folks, just in case you might have heard that I died and went to heaven, it was a lie. But I want to tell you, I have had a month from, well, let's just say that the devil was looking over my shoulder. Let me get through you telling you what happened, and then I'm going to give you the good news of what's coming. So the publisher sent me the book to look over the draft before it was actually going into printing, and that took me about a week. And then when I got to the last chapter, I said, "Oh my goodness gracious!" Even since I gave it to her to basically clean up and publish, so much has changed. I had to completely rewrite the last chapter, so that took me close to another week. And then I said, "Oh, now we're getting ready to where we can do the marketing, and I got all this great idea, and I'm gonna do 20 shows. I'm gonna take a couple of weeks off and do 20 shows, and I'll be able to do 2 shows a week from now to the end of the year." And well, in case I haven't told you, I'm not very good with the computer. So you know what happened? I had 14 shows done, and I decided I'm going to take that one and I'm going to pull it off, and I'm going to use it to do a show this week. And so I transferred it out of the main file over, and when I saved it, you guys who are computer geeks are going to look at me and say, "God, Larry, you're so inept." I named it the same name and wrote over it and lost 13 shows. 13 shows. But here's the good news. I'm now one that basically accepts any defeat from the enemy. So I did take about 3 days and just say I've got to recuperate. That was quite a shock to my system. But I'm back, and here's what happened. God always tells me if something like that happens, uh, don't go blaming the devil. It's me giving you a course correction, or it's me saying you can do it better. And so I had one of those appointments with God this morning, and I'm telling you, I'm got a smile on my face again. Here's what he told me. He said, "You go to your publisher." I got a conversation with her at 4 today, a Zoom call, and following that, probably sometime next week, I'll be able to give you some information as to when the book is going to be out, if we're going to do a pre-sale or what, and we're going to go over what she thinks the marketing program will be for it, and then I'm probably going to do another fundraiser. This book is really important. What God told me is when I died in '68, He said your books will eventually go into the schools, and He said you will not come out until, like I've said before, but here's salt and pepper, and until it's the appointed time. And it is the appointed time. In the last 60 days, more has happened than in the last 4 years. And it's really signaling that things are happening now. We're not just dripping things to wake people up, but things are happening. Bolton, they just announced, is being indicted. Comey's being indicted. They're going after Obama. They're going after Hillary. They're going after whatever. So what we're going to do today is I'm just going to tell you what my marketing plan is going to be for getting this book out. And then Monday we're going to do another show. This one will be with slides, and it'll be in depth. Then now here's what God gave me this morning. And He said, "You got it all up here. You didn't lose anything. You got it right here." Because I do have a pretty extraordinary memory. And He says, "You've also done shows on these topics anyway." So what He told me is people are now ready to listen. You've done shows on these topics before, but it's been spread out over a 2-year period. And a lot of people weren't ready to listen, and it didn't have the effect when it was spread out. So what He instructed me to do was start with Carter and to go through every president since Carter and show you what the agenda was that was given to them by the global financial elite. And the only two exceptions in that is Reagan. They did not expect him to get in. And in my opinion, he was not a puppet of the global financial elite. And then the second is Trump. So we're going to go through every one of these presidents, and we're going to see how each one of them just took over the reins from the one before and continued the process to further divide the country, to further drive the nation into unsustainable debt, until we're now at the point that basically we have a $36 trillion debt, and the house of cards is falling down. It's got no other choice. The Ponzi scheme is ending, and we're in the final battle, as Sun Tzu said, and I believe we're winning. And so we're going to walk you through everything in a very short period of time, from Carter, when they ceded power to China, where basically they started sending massive amounts of money to China to build manufacturing, and they ceded our technology. They allowed China to steal our intellectual property, and the bleed began. And now we're going to show you. I'll just jump to the end of that journey where we're here and Trump is in, and I'll fill in all the blanks as we go through the next few weeks. But I honestly believe that God showed me that the reason Trump was chosen, and God said he was my chosen David, is because he went through there's a myriad of reasons, but probably one of the most important is that he went through 6 individual corporate bankruptcies. And as we make the transition to the new economic system, America will have to suffer a financial bankruptcy. And there's nobody else out there that's going to be in a better position to know how to create a soft landing for America. So we're going to walk you through all of the events that are going to lead up to that. And then I'm going to lay out for you in detail what you're going to expect with the financial collapse that's coming. And it's going to be a humdinger. But I'm going to show you why Trump is going to be probably the only man out there that could orchestrate making it a soft collapse, followed by an immediate rebound. All the other collapses we've had have been intentionally designed to last a decade or longer. This one will rebound in no time. And when it does, we'll be off of the fiat system. We'll be out from under the Federal Reserve. We'll be out from under the IRS. We may be out from under the UN and several other organizations. We will be an autonomous government again. We will have sovereignty, and we will have financial prosperity. And Trump is, remember now, he's collected $17 trillion in commitments to build new manufacturing plants. And so that takes us full circle. They started taking manufacturing away from us under Carter, and now we're going to get it back. And then there's all kinds of things that Trump is going to do. When this is over, I think I'll be able to show you why we will probably not have any national debt, why you will not be paying federal income tax, why you probably won't even have a mortgage on your house. It's going to be incredible. So I'm going to walk you through all of it, and we're going to end with what we look like after we come out of this and after NESARA has been implemented, and then we're going to go into what does the future look like. And that takes us back to something Trump set up from the very beginning when he saw to it that the Supreme Court heard the case called the Chevron case, which was reversed, that gave us access to some 6,000 patents. We're going to have the most amazing technological revolution the world could ever see. And America is going to come out on top because we are going to have the technology that we need in order to be able to be the world's leader in manufacturing again. And that's where countries get their money. Basically, money starts with natural resources. And what's Trump doing? He's selling off a lot of our federal land, mineral rights to that federal land, and he expects to raise $150 trillion. Plus, he's going to revalue gold, it looks like, and several other things. I'll just wait until we get to the right place, but I just want you to understand it's going to be dicey. We're probably going to see some significant civil unrest throughout most of the sanctuary cities. They've been setting up for that for a long time, but Trump's made provisions so that can be modified or minimized, I guess I should say. And when we come out of this, we're not going to recognize America. We have been slaves for all of my life and for my family's parents' lives, and we don't even know what freedom looks like. But basically, I'm going to build this story for you. So what I encourage you to do is come back every week. Please, this is go time. This is the time God told me I'm going to use all the knowledge that I've put in your head for 57 years now, and I'm going to push it out all in a very short period of time. And we're going to get newscasts coming out, news stories every day telling us this one's getting arrested, that whistleblower is coming out. So what I'm going to try to do is it takes time for those things to happen. So with the knowledge that God has given me, what I'm going to try to do is walk you through what those whistleblowers are going to be saying, all of the scandals that are going to be revealed, everything that's going to happen that's going to cause America to basically come out on top like you cannot believe. So please, what I'd like to ask you to do is subscribe so that you don't miss. I don't know what days I'll be coming out with these. They'll be, I promise you, unless something catastrophic happens like happened this past several weeks, there'll be at least one show a month. I mean, not one show a month, one show a week. And then what I'm also going to try to do is focus on some very important stories. I'll focus on intermittently in between those stories. I'll focus on anything that has to do with the election thefts here or in other countries, and a very big important part of that is all the in-depth details on the illegal immigration. People have no idea what it's all about. So I'll be focusing on some very important topics in between this sequencing from Carter to Trump. And then occasionally, if I see a news story that I think is got enough merit, or if I see several things come out all at one time, I'll come on and do some kind of a short summary of that. So like the show that we're going to do Monday, it's the compilation of almost 2 months worth of news stories all wrapped up into one, so that you get the big picture of what was happening over the last 2 months. And it was huge. So anyway, that's what's coming. So tune in. I'm going to be doing the show on Monday, and then I'll be doing at least one show a week after that until the end of the year. And I'm going to be laying out for you in detail what's going to happen with this book coming out. And we might even, I don't know, we might even serialize the book. I'm not sure. I got to talk to the publisher. But I just want to let you know, I didn't fall off the face of the earth. I just had some serious time I had to spend with getting the book ready, polished and ready to go out. And then I had that catastrophe. So please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, come back every week and check us out. I guarantee you what you're going to get is some really in-depth, really important stories. And what it's going to do for you is it's going to give you just exactly what God promised me he'd do. It's going to give you the 60,000 foot view. You'll be able to see everything in a very short period of time, just like you're up in the sky looking down and you can see everything because you're above it all. You'll be able to put all the pieces together for yourself. You'll be able to understand what's coming. It should take a lot of your fear away. And basically you're going to know what's going on. And then we're going to lay some things out to let you know what comes after this reset, and it's all going to be glorious. So please do subscribe, share this as we go through these series. I think you're going to find that any friend you have is going to want to know what I'm disclosing here. It's coming directly from God. So with that, I want to thank you, and I want to thank you for following me, and we will see you next Monday. Be blessed.